Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking the video and subscribing to the channel are free and easy for you, and they help me out a lot. If you want to go further with your support, Patreon and YouTube membership offer access to the BoshNRoll Discord community, early access to lists, written content, things like that. You can have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use YouTube membership, you also get sweet badges and emotes integrated here into YouTube. You can support the channel while you shop at tcgplayer.com by using my affiliate link in the video description, and you can play any deck anytime by using a cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. If you want to wear your support, check out the merch store. And of course, thanks for being here. Now let's go play some Magic. Hello and welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy. At the request of Patreon subscriber Samuel, I am revisiting Gifts Ungiven Control. Samuel has submitted multiple decks to the channel before. They've all been Gifts Brews. Samuel loves the cards Gifts Ungiven and doesn't like the traditional like Fatty plus Unburial Rights route with it. So we're trying to get more creative than that. That's why there's no Grizzlebrand in this deck. So you could save that comment. I know that's intentional. What we have done with this deck, though, is there is a combo with Gifts Ungiven and Unburial Rights. It's just a little more convoluted than going straight for Grizzlebrand. What we have here is you make a Gifts Ungiven pile of Unburial Rights, Auriok Salvagers, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Walking Ballista. The Salvagers combo, if you haven't seen this before, aka the Bomberman combo. 1 and a white, return target artifact card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Lion's Eye Diamond happens to be an artifact with mana value 1 or less that makes 3 mana. So you sack this for 3 white, spend 2 of it to get it back, and then you have 1 white in the pool. And you can do this. This is infinite mana of every color. Eventually you'll have enough white floating that you can spend white to rebuy it, then make blue instead, or green or whatever. Salvagers plus LED is infinite mana. And the way you win with that is Walking Ballista, which also happens to be an artifact with mana value 1 or less. Once you have infinite mana, you can spend 1 and a white to get Walking Ballista back from your graveyard to your hand, which is, it is in the graveyard because LED makes you discard your hand, and then you rebuy Ballista, cast it for a bazillion, and shoot your opponent. We have this combo. This is the minimalist version of the combo, just 1 of each piece in this 80-card Yorion deck. Outside of that, we're mostly just Bant control, because this is the BoshNRoll channel. This is what we do here. We play Bant control. Plow, Brainstorm, Ponder, Loam, Coatl, Narset, Click, Endurance, Teferi, Uro, Jace, Force, Prismatic Ending. There's just a normal Bant deck in here. To help both the Bant strat and the gifts is Sevinne's Reclamation. This is a fun card to gifts for because you can cast it out of your graveyard and get back 2 things that are also in your graveyard. Like Sevinne's Reclamation returning Narset and Vendilion Click to play is pretty fun. Or, you know, Teferi and Narset, or even just draw a card off Uro plus get Narset into play. Like you get to rebuy your Planeswalkers, your creatures, Sevinne's Reclamation getting back Snapcaster, and another thing lets you cast another spell. That's just a value engine in the deck. Life from the Loam can go in a gifts pile with Karakas, Blast Zone, and Wasteland, or Zagoth Triome, or Mystic Sanctuary. There's a bunch of sweet lands in this deck as one-ofs that can go in gifts piles alongside Loam, and then you get access to those. Abundant Growth's in the deck, because this is also a Yorion pile, and Abundant Growth is beautiful with Yorion. It fixes your mana, helps you cantrip early on, and then eventually turns Yorion into a cantrip, divination, ancestral recall, depending on how many you have. The deck also naturally includes one of my favorite things that I haven't actually gotten to execute on the channel in a long time, which is Vendilion Click takes a card from your opponent's hand and they draw a card. If you have Narset, it takes it and they don't draw a card. If you have Karakas, you can do that every turn because Vendilion Click is a legend. And if you have Teferi, there's nothing they can do about it. I love tucking this into decks just in case it happens, this 4-card hardlock in which each piece is individually reasonable. I love combo control decks. I love making your opponent get in the dirt and grind with you, like answer your Uro, fight through your Planeswalkers, etc. And then you're threatening a combo at any point. Like, I just really love that play pattern. And I think this deck does it pretty well in theory. Let's see how it pays out in practice. Let's get into these games. I'm on the play in round 1. and I have a perfectly reasonable Bant hand here. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to lead on Triome. Just on the play, like on the draw, I'd be worried about leading on Triome because if they go like creature plus Wasteland, I'm just miles behind. But if I lead on Triome and they Wasteland me, then we just play turn 1 over again because I'm on the play. Willing to take that risk. There's one Zagoth Triome and one Underground Sea in the deck for the front half of Unburial Rites, if it comes to that. Normally you want to cast it for white mana out of the graveyard, but you don't always get that choice. So there are 2 black sources in the deck. That also is a 4th color for Prismatic Ending, which can come up a lot if it's a Jace Mirror or something with scary 4-drops. Another land is a good one. That gets us up to 4 lands. We have a plan now. Whether it's Gifts or Jace remains to be seen. Probably should have played the fetch land there, honestly, because I don't have white for this plow. If they just like dash Ragavan this turn, I am gotten. Please don't fetch Dryad Arbor here. I'd feel so bad. Okay, that's not Dryad Arbor. Underground Sea and Step Brainstorm. This is feeling like a combo deck. Both because Underground Sea generally isn't in fair decks in the present Legacy format, and because End Step Brainstorm tends to be something that combo decks do. Control decks would take their time, draw the extra card for your turn, brainstorm, make sure the brainstorm's perfect, you have the fetch land ready and everything. But combo decks that are like 1 piece away from going off next turn in End Step Brainstorm for the temporary supercharge of the hand is something that's more appealing. Confirmed. Entomb. Wow, blue-black Reanimator. That's what we got here. I'm going to pitch Gifts here. I suspect they have protection or a second reanimation spell. Either way, it's pretty good. Lotus Petal. Yeah, kind of wish I had my white mana available right now. Ooh, Exhume. That's fun, knowing that Gifts is in my deck. Yeah, like right now, they'll probably come up with a discard spell, which can remove my plow from my hand. Oh, they're passing. Karakas is a card in my deck. 1 out of 72 chance to draw it right now. Narset. Wow, that's actually really good against Griselbrand. Too bad it's a little late. I'm going to try to just plow Griselbrand this turn, and then see if I can get Narset or Jace to show up on the following turn. We aren't, like, in good shape here at all. They have 8 cards in their hand. They can make it 15. They just need 1 Force of Will, Force of Negation, whatever. Grab my Tundra here. Swords to Plowshares. Drawing 7 in response. Oh, that's so lucky that their 15-card hand had Force of Will in it. Okay, we're taking a hit from Griselbrand. I will continue to play this game, at least until the second main phase, depending on how many monsters they put into play right now. I guess at this point I might as well take a draw step. If they cast a discard spell, I'll probably concede. Just don't need them to know I'm this Planeswalker heavy deck. Now I have to discard a card. Yeah, I don't actually have a way out of this. I'm just going to concede to that. Narset was pretty close to controlling that Griselbrand. Like, if that Force of Will actually bought us a turn, would have been pretty good. Okay, Endurance, Veil of Summer, Surgical Extraction, Flusterstorm. I like Dress Down quite a bit here also. Supreme Verdict is not a good card, but let's see how many cards I actually want to cut here. The Supreme Verdict indicates playing towards a game state where they have at least 1 creature in play already. Like, Supreme Verdict's the card that would have got me out of last game, but that doesn't necessarily mean you want to play to that position. A Prismatic Ending comes out, exiling Animate Dead once the creature has already generated value is not really where you want to be. Gifts is pretty clunky, but having our own combo in the deck to slam on the gas might be pretty reasonable. I think Loam is probably too slow for this matchup. Swords to Plowshares is not good, but in this 80-card deck, maybe respecting the possibility a monster gets into play is worth doing. I don't think I need all 4 Uros here. Jace is slow, but it is blue to go with my forces. Coatl is blue and green for force and endurance. That's actually really important. Blast Zone doesn't actually do anything in this matchup. And cutting a land might be a little reckless, but the spells are the important things in this particular matchup. Meddling Mage. Okay, Meddling Mage has some text on it. It's hard to name anything that takes them off their whole combo, but you could name something and take them off at least part of it. Okay, Meddling Mage. And maybe it's a gifts. I'll shave 1 gifts here and get the Meddling Mages in. This is my plan now. Okay, I have a hand with Force of Will, some selection. I'm actually going to keep this. I can fetch Tropical Island and cast Abundant Growth. My opponent's deck is not going to have land destruction in it. If I could fetch Basic Forest, I would here, just in case, but I can't, so I don't, and I also don't think it matters. Found the second land right away. Never didn't have it. Ooh, they're just moving to slow discard. Their hand must be a relentless pile of reanimation spells if they're willing to just time walk themselves to get a card into the graveyard. Backup Force, you love to see it. Is there any reason to brainstorm now? Let's look at the deck. I mean, Brainstorm could find Ponder now, but they're probably a Daze deck, so I don't even want to do that. Yeah, the Brainstorm main phase would be if I had like a Tormod Script or Soul Guide Lantern or something I need to cast on my main phase, which I don't. I'm a deck full of spells. So I'm going to play around Daze, and I can still Brainstorm if necessary on the flip side. If I Force Pitch Gifts, Force Pitch other Brainstorm, or Force Pitch Narset, or like whatever ends up happening, I'll still have a Brainstorm at the end of the pile. They have their land. They didn't just keep a no-lander. That was an intentional discard. I never had any doubt. Just saying. Force Pitching Gifts Ungiven. We're doing this again. Okay, that's countered. I think I actually want to end-step Brainstorm like a combo deck here, because hitting my land drop to cast Narset is a huge deal. Like, that actually makes it so Grizzlebrand coming into play is a beatable thing, where currently it is not remotely beatable. Narset's in. I know there's a blue card on top because I put the Ponder there. Good thing it's there because the rest were all creatures. Okay, now Grizzlebrand's just a fatty, which is still bad for me, but it's not instantly game ending. Personal Tutor. I'm going to let that resolve. Go nuts. Another Reanimate. All right. Wow, their hand really is slow and steady. I hope I'm able to punish this. On my land, that's good. I'm going to Narset first to try to put more cards in my hand. Savine's Reclamation can get back a land drop, but I think Force Negation is just better. And I'm going to Ponder for turn. Save that Brainstorm. Don't want any of this shit. Ended up with a land anyway, that's okay. I can put Yorion in hand right now, but hardcasting Force Negation is just so much better. And I can fetch Mystic Sanctuary. I do have the requisite number of islands if I want to regrow my Ponder or regrow a Force of Will. Don't think I want to do those things, though. All right, cool. They didn't make me decide. Flusterstorm, hell yeah. I think I'm still going to pass the turn here. Holding up hardcast Force of Negation plus Flusterstorm and can still Brainstorm and pitch to Force of Will. Versus if I greedily shove Yorion into my hand, then it takes off my hardcast Force option. The way they've played this game, I don't think they could punch through a Flusterstorm all at once, but I don't want to risk it. Okay, here is the Force of Negation. They knew that was there. Should not have come to as a surprise. I'm not using my Mystic Sanctuary yet. Don't need to. Oh, baby. Okay, now I have a win condition and a hate piece. I'm not going to cast Brainstorm because my hand is already perfect. What are you looking for with a Brainstorm right now? Okay, they're just conceding. I don't even get to cast my Endurance. Yeah, that Narset, I bet their hand was full of cantrips and stuff that they were really counting on and didn't pan out. Thanks, Narset. Anything change on the draw here? They are a blue build, so Carpet, it might be reasonable, but I don't think I actually want that. Yeah, this spread looks pretty good. I'm into it. Let's go right back in. Keeping this hand in game 3. I have a Force. I have 2, but only 1 blue card, so we can't count it as 2 forces. If I get to untap, I can protect my Force with Veil of Summer. Thoughtseize, bummer. I mean, my hand's full of juice, so this Thoughtseize gets to just soften me up a little, but not actually break up my protection. They took Veil. The choices were either Veil or Ponder, and they went with Veil. Good to know. I'm just going to make my land drop and pass. Now that I drew a second blue card, or fourth blue card, I can double force. I'm going to save this Ponder until I know what I need to play against over there. It's like they're just playing land go. Feels like an Entomb to me. Ooh, Wasteland. I don't think that's good, though. It's not what I'm looking for. I'm going to fetch Tropical Island and cast Ponder with it. Endurance is in my deck somewhere. I want to start amassing green sources. Entomb in response is pretty good. I don't want to pick this fight on my turn. Like, I want to let Ponder resolve and then try to have double force on their turn. Dress down, Brainstorm. Okay. Reclamation. I'm going to put Brainstorm on top and Dress down in my hand, because I'd rather pitch Dress down than cast Brainstorm than do it in the other direction. After I go Hellbent to keep Grizzlebrand out of play this turn, like functionally Hellbent down to just lands, Brainstorm is what I want to reload with, not Dress down. Another aggressive end step Brainstorm. They still know I have Force of Will and Negation. They don't know what these three cards are, the Jace Dress down Wasteland. Like Ponder and the two forces in Misty are what they know are in my hand. They also know they need to make a move this turn or else I'm untapping into Hardcast Force of Negation, which really slows them down. Reanimate. Okay, Force of Will, pitching, Dress down. How many layers of protection do we have here? Okay, there's Force of Will, pitching, Force of Will. And then Force of Negation, pitching Jace. The Reanimate was countered. They could have another Animate spell. They're down to one card in hand and they're passing. I like that. I do not want Savine's Reclamation, and I can still make another fetch land this turn. So I'm going to fetch before I Brainstorm. I'm going to get Tundra, and then Brainstorm with the Tropical Island. Force Negation. That's good next turn. I'm going to put Zagoth Triome and Wasteland into my deck and pass the turn. They didn't play a reanimation spell last turn that I think they would have cast if they had one. So I'm trying to fade a draw step here. Let me untap with my force, and then we can all get along. This is the turn. This is it. Please don't spend mana. Just pass the turn. No, no, no. Bummer. Well, they can't draw cards, so I have one draw step to rule them all. I'm gonna fetch Zagoth Triome. Yeah, I think that makes some sense. Come on, Caracas, for the win. Ace Fang Coatl. That's... I am not even close to that being relevant. Okay, green, blue, and Ice Fang. I have another look at Caracas here. Even Swords to Plowshares is fine on this board. Oh no, I've tapped out of green. What the fuck? Okay, fine. Yeah, with the information I had, tapping out of the green, leaving white up made the most sense, and I couldn't make my land drop because I was hoping to find Caracas. Like, I think I tapped the correct lands. I just drew Abundant Growth and looked silly for it. I'm gonna block and just try to preserve my life total. Like, at this point, they can draw 7, and like I'm not gonna get 3 snow permanents into play suddenly on one turn. All right, they did just draw 7. Now it gets a lot harder. It was already hard. We had one turn where Swords of Plowshares was actually phenomenal, but that window has passed. Wow, Show and Tell is also in your deck. Get to put in Abundant Growth. That's exciting. Okay, I'm going to attach Abundant Growth to Underground Sea. I get to draw a card before I have to discard a card. Fairy's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Discard, Force of Negation. They're up to 10 now from that trigger, so they can activate Grizzlebrand again. Brainstorm, are you good? Let's find out. Or I guess I should Teferi first, because then the draw card. Alright. White, blue, colorless. Leave my 5-color land up. Gotta hope there's no Force of Will in their top 14 cards. They drew 7. And they had a force. Okay, yeah. Surprise. Alright, I'm gonna brainstorm in response to force. Not that there's anything I can find that counters force of will off of a Hellbent brainstorm. And they had days. Okay, yep, very dead. GG's. A turn behind on the 2 games we lost, and had pretty firm control of the game we won. But that's how it goes against Reanimator. On the play for round number 2, I'm going to keep this hand. This control deck. This perfectly normal Bant control. Nothing to see here. Yeah, this hand's great. Just land spells, removal, cantrips. You love it. There's a Saga. Okay. There is 1 Wasteland and 1 Dress Down in the main deck that can battle this. Teferi is a turn behind to be effective against it. But if they're willing to Urza Saga on turn 1, that means the tutor is worth more than the constructs, or it means they're an Ancient Tomb deck. I'm going to fetch basic Island, because if they're an Ancient Tomb deck, it's possible they're also a Wasteland deck. This could be just like actual lands. Yikes. That Light from the Loam is right on time, let me tell you. Jace is probably in some trouble here, and Swords to Plowshares, is that what I want to shuffle away here? Prismatic Ending and Plow, it could be the second Uro. It's tough to know just off Urza Saga if Prismatic Ending or Plow or both or neither are what I actually want to be doing here. Like if this is lands, then I don't really want either of these cards. If it's 8 cast, Plow is fine, but Ending's not great. Maybe I want to keep Jace, get rid of backup Uro and Prismatic Ending. That's what I'm going to do here. Then I'm going to ponder with Tropical Island. If they waste, they waste. I need the Tropical Island in case this ponder fails to find land number 3 and I have to cast a Light from the Loam. And this one of Rimewood Falls, that's just there for the snow count. Coming into play tap tier is actually brutal. I'm going to shuffle this. Okay, please don't be a Wasteland deck. Oh, they're Painter. All right, so I'm just dead? I guess they need to come up with 3 mana, but they have 2 in play already. All right, well, Light from the Loam, Moment of Truth, White Source, Swords to Plowshares. Let's go. Grab this Tundra. One of us is dead right now. Doing this now before they can untap with their Red Blast. Yeah, I'm dead to force anyway. Do I have anything in my deck that makes it so I don't die to getting milled out? Probably not. Yeah, if they just have a land, let me just make sure there's no goofballs in this deck that give me an extra turn. Endurance is not in my hand. That would do it normally. You can't dredge if you don't have enough cards to do that, so I can't like replace my draw with nothing. Right, there's Grindstone, and they have all of the things right away. Okay, good to know. All right, playing against Painter. Painter is, I believe, and I know Phil Gallagher over at Thraven U shares this belief, Painter is one of the hotter sleeper hits in the format right now. I think the deck is genuinely excellent and probably doing a lot of like Urza Saga is like did a lot of things for a lot of archetypes, but I think Painter is sort of skated under the radar, which is weird for how perfect Urza Saga is for that deck. That is definitely a sleeper hit in the format right now. Okay, Swords to Plowshares is important in this matchup. Uro is not that important in this matchup. I like Teferi, I like Narset. Vendilion Click's fine. Endurance is important for keeping myself alive. I like Veil of Summer because if they name blue, Veil just becomes like Teferi's protection. Icefang Coatl, not super important to this matchup. They are probably the Murktide Regent version because the Volcanic Islands indicate that that is a thing they might be doing. So I want to keep my plows, my force. I don't think I need Hydroblast. I like Meddling Mage. You can just name Painter and that takes a lot of pressure off. I like having my own combo available. Savine's Wreck is unfortunately a sorcery. If that was an instant, I could let them mill me and then flash it back in my upkeep to bring back the endurance. That would be sick. Just gotta have Teferi in play, plus that buddy. Gifts against the deck with 4 or more Pyroblasts in the main. I'm gonna shave Jace. At least gifts when it resolves, you win. Jace when it resolves, you maybe brainstorm and then it dies anyway. This is what I'm doing. Let's go. Dress down, for the record, against Painter. If you dress down with Painter on the stack, it doesn't get to name a color, and it never paints anything. If Painter does resolve and names a color, due to the way that layers work, dress down doesn't remove that. So dress down is insane against Painter coming down, and it's terrible against Painter that's already resolved. Speaking of terrible, mulliganing this hand. All right, here we go. Keep this one. I'm going to put, I think it's Uro on the bottom. I just want to keep my answer to Painter. The turn 1 Rimewood Falls, you love it. That's the only time I'm happy to see that card. And even there, like, I just didn't cast Ponder because my land comes into play tapped. That one's on the watch list. It's fun that it's a snow land. It's fun that it has its own name for gifts. It's just, ETB tapped is a big ask. Okay, there's Saga. Have that start again. Okay. I love Teferi. Getting Tundra. I'm gonna Meddling Mage, Painter Servant. That was worth a Force of Will. That's fun. Force pitching Murktide. Murktide Regent confirmed, by the way. Oh, they just have the curve again. I guess that's why you would force Meddling Mage. It's like pretty clearly the play. Okay, this would be a great time to draw a land or... Alright, well, this better work. White, green, 2 colors. Let's go. Oh my god, they have another Force of Will. Well, if they have the land again, we lose again. Wow, incredible. Alright, well, sometimes your opponent has the turn 3 combo through double Force of Will. What are you gonna do? On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw round 3 with the Rimewood Falls as my only colored source. I'm gonna keep. Gotta risk it for the biscuit sometimes. If they are any kind of fair deck, or any kind of non-wasteland deck, I should say. Okay, now it's not so bad if I get wasted, but I'm still gonna lead on this. Get this thing into play, get it untapped, and then we'll figure out the rest. Firing off wasteland there could have been fun, but I think that'll find a better target at some point. We're getting a Bant Mirror. That would be so nice to have a Bant Mirror after getting dumpstered by combo twice. I could Abundant Growth, I could Wasteland, I could Ponder, see what happens, I could Brainstorm, see what happens. I'm gonna Ponder. Flooded Strand. Don't shuffle the library, I'll take a Flooded Strand. I'm gonna fetch another Tropical Island and play this Abundant Growth on Tropical Island. If they're a Wasteland deck, whatever. I got my card out of it. Just trying to move velocity forward here. I don't think this is a deck we have to worry about tapping out against. Like, it's not like I'm representing anything. And if they slam Narset or Teferi this turn, life gets a little harder. The Abundant Growth is the black source for the Unburial Rights, or the white source for Unburial Rights. I also have Tundra. Alright, we're actually just fine. I'm just gonna pass the turn. I can click them in their end step if they don't do anything. I can Brainstorm in response to something if they do anything. I can Coatl plus Brainstorm in my end step. Like, I can see a lot of cards this turn if I need to. They fetched in the end step. It didn't cast a spell. This is the kind of matchup where Gifts Ungiven is actually bonkers. I could click them end step and then clear the way for gifts. Ooh, Living Wish. I'm not going to fight over this because Vendilion Click can just take whatever they get here. They got their own Vendilion Click. That's fun. Yeah, I'm gonna click. Let's go. Living Wish Bant. Does that mean it's an Aloran deck? Are they just playing Living Wish? I'm not sure what this means, honestly. Let's find out. 2 forces, Jace, Ending, V-Click, Brainstorm. I don't really want to play against Jace. The rest of these cards are fine. And by fine, I mean difficult to beat, but this is a fair matchup. We'll find the space for it. I want to Brainstorm first. Or I could turn Blast Zone into a 5-color land. I'll play Blast Zone. I don't think I'm going to be blasting their zones. So I'm going to Abundant Growth Blast Zone. And I can Snap Ponder, I can Coatl, I could Regular Ponder. A Regular Ponder. Another Growth. I don't think that's what I want. I'm going to shuffle this. Another Ponder is pretty cool. I think setting up for a sizable Yorion endgame is a reasonable play here. I'm going to Coatl. There's Brainstorm. Yeah, fighting that Jace with double force in their hand. Like, that Jace would have run away with the game, I think. So I like the choice to take that. AKA, good job, me. You made a good decision. I have to monitor my clock closely, though. That is going to matter in this matchup. Oof, Brainstorm didn't shuffle. That's scary. Their hand's kind of full of air right now, unless they found a threat to slam into play. Like Uro, Jace, any of those sort of things is actually really terrible right now. Sylvan Library. That's also pretty terrible. But I can pressure that, like their life total matters, and I'm about to put a 4th power into play. And I can Blast Zone that, like, if I need to. But I hope that I don't. Their click doesn't line up particularly well against what I'm doing right now. They'll probably click in response here. I don't know. None of it's pretty. I really don't care about getting clicked. They probably take Gifts, though, because that's like the weirdest and most specific and most powerful card. Or maybe they take Snapcaster to protect their life total. Yeah, they took Gifts and gave me Narset. Get wrecked. All right, now I need a way to protect my Narset. Towards the Plowshares. Okay, I'm going to start with that. Go Plow the click. See if they want to fight over this. Because tempoing their life total at this point is actually kind of a plan. They will definitely force Narset. Attack for 4. I'm going to try to Brainstorm into some protection for my Narset. Okay, second Narset also checks the box. Swords to Plowshares, Jace the Mind Sculptor on top. Narset, this will get forced. I guess they could line up Prismatic Ending against it, but then they're still taking beats from my creatures. I expect a force here, and then a Prismatic Ending on my click on their turn. Yeah, Force of Negation, pitching Force of Will, so these are both gone. And you're up. They kept 1 card off Sylvan Library. They're down to 9. Living Wish. Oh, they have so many cool cards. It's Living Wish rules. I love this. Getting Uro. Yep, that will recoup the Sylvan Library damage. There's their Uro. That'll land off it. So Prismatic Ending, 2 mystery cards is what they're working with over there. Okay, they're fetching now. And Ponder. So if they have Force blue card, the Force or the blue card is coming off this Ponder right now. It's Prismatic Ending, 1 mystery card. They chose to shuffle, so it's Prismatic Ending, 1 card they chose off Sylvan Library, and 1 full random card out of their deck. Much as I like Jace, I think Narset's better here. I'm going to Ponder first. Force Will, yes, yes, yes. And Teferi is really exciting too. Do not shuffle this. Narset. Backup Narset. Oh, they did have the Force. Force pitching Ponder. Do I think Uro or Snapcaster Mage is better here? Probably Snapcaster. Force pitching Uro. The Snapcaster answers their Uro. Narset. Put this Teferi in my hand. Oh, wait. Maybe I want this Force of Will. I can force their Prismatic Ending, and then they're just never drawing another card. Yeah, sorry, Teferi. Plans change. Even if they have the Prismatic Ending and remove it, they don't get to library this turn. So Narset already did something, even if she gets answered right away. Yeah, they can cast Uro for the life points. I have Snap Plow, or I have Jace Bounce. I'm not going to Force of Will Uro, that's for sure. Not when it doesn't draw a card. Just gains 3 life, maybe it puts a land into play. Did put a land into play, so their last card in hand is Prismatic Ending. Or have they brainstormed? Yeah, they brainstormed since I saw that. They might have got rid of that. They might not even have it. That's fun if true. Narset, let's go. Gifts Ungiven. Alright, I'll put that in my hand. Land for turn. 1 blue, blue, blue. Jace. Bounce Uro. Back with my damages. I like this control game. Oh, they have endurance. Okay. Well, force, pitching, gifts ungiven is the play there. Okay, yeah, they shuffled away that prismatic ending. I forgot they brainstormed and just gave them credit for having a card they hadn't actually showed me yet. Their hand right now is Uro, that can't draw a card. It can gain 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they have enough mana to Uro plus re-Uro, just to gain 6. Yeah, they can gain 6 and put their fatty into play. Where Jace can... Oh shit, that was Prismatic Ending. Alright, they did have Prismatic Ending lurking the whole time. He chose to invest in drawing cards rather than investing in gaining 6 life, which probably is the play. I do have enough islands to Mystic Sanctuary if I want that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to fetch and put Force of Will on top of my deck because I can hard cast that thing. Yeah, so I draw Force of Will. I can brainstorm with Jace. Put back these 2 non-fetch lands, play the fetch land, attack for 4. I don't think Wasteland's any good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One short of putting Yorion in my hand. They can't take any extra cards. This is just Miri's Guile at this point. Okay, here's the Uro that I committed to forcing. There's the force. Force a negation. Alright, we're playing another turn. I'm going to fetch now. I don't think it matters, but I'm going to do it anyway. Get my F6 value if nothing else. They drew a card, did not put a land into play. That doesn't mean they don't have a land. But I do have to think about the possibility they have 2 spells in their hand. If I plow, yeah, I think I'd rather plow. So, Snapcaster Mage, target Swords to Plowshares. I want to see if this works before I commit to doing something with Jace. Like, if I find Prismatic Ending off of Jace right now, I'll feel bad that I did that. Okay, found Lion's Eye Diamond. That's so funny. Surprise. That card's in my deck. Fetch and put Yorion in hand. 1, 2, 3. Yorion's in my hand now. Now we're in the fair deck garbage time. Just here to smash. Fair decks into fair decks. That Swords to Plowshares put them into enough life that they can take some extra cards off of library. I'm ahead on board on resources, on planeswalkers, on mana, and on time. So I am ahead here. There are certainly ways this can turn the other way, but Yorion's coming down next turn. Yorion's good for a draw 3 plus click you plus... Alright, do I want to try to brainstorm in response to this? I can spike Force of Will. I think I'm going to try to overpower the Jace. They already have Sylvan Library. Their life total is in trouble. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm putting them to 3 this turn with attacks. They could have Endurance. But I have Jace and Yorion. Yeah, we're having a good time right now. This is high quality Magic the Gathering. I love these board states. I should be thinking about Endurance right now. They probably don't have Hull Breacher in their Living Wish deck. That might be something they can wish for, but I don't really expect that to come up. Are they going to plow my click? Yeah, alright. Getting extra scrappy. Takes a huge part off the clock there. This looks like Prismatic Ending. Okay, so Yorion is just getting steadily worse here. That's okay. It's cool they went after the 1 power creature instead of the 2 power creature. Kind of tells me what they're thinking a little bit. Ending, growth. Okay. Flooded Strand and Brainstorm or ending. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can exile Jace right now, or I could just draw the maximum number of cards and then fight over Jace next turn. I'm going to put Prismatic Ending on top, and then Abundant Growth, this Wasteland. That puts Ending in my hand, and now I can fetch, because I don't want the top cards in my deck, get Island. Yeah, I'm going to move my growths onto all my basics anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. White, colorless, Prismatic Ending, the Sylvan Library, and start to just constrict their options a little bit. Attack Jace. Put that to 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's Yorion for the maximum. Snapcaster, growth, growth, growth. And I can even add a loyalty to my Jace. And these come back. I get to snap Brainstorm from my graveyard after I draw 3 cards. 1, 2. Actually, still think putting this the growth on Blast Zone is better. Oh my god, the infinite power. And I get a Brainstorm from Snapcaster. Oh, they're Salvagers. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna hide Salvagers on top of my deck. Okay, Force blue card. I'm way ahead. The usual problem, though, of Magic Online with a Bomberman deck is that this matchup is so grindy just on its surface that even if I do pivot into the combo, if they make me click through it, I'm in a lot of trouble. In real life, it would just be the perfect thing to break open a Bant mirror, because being able to win the game quickly when your opponent can't is a huge deal. Like, if this goes to a game 3, I might just board out the combo because I won't have time to click through it anyway. And you can't count on your opponent to concede when they're effectively dead. Not that you should expect them to either. The clock is part of the Magic Online interface, yada yada yada. 2 cards left in their hand, making land drops. I'm impressed they still have lands to fetch. Not a basic land in sight, that's good to know. Living Wish. Yikes. I'm gonna fight over what they get rather than... I guess they could get Caracas to bounce Yorion, but that is not a long-term plan. Like, if they get, like, Thrun the Last Roll or some shit, I don't even care about that. I'm just trying to think what creature or land I would even care about. The answer is not many. Yeah, they came to the same conclusion. They resolved Living Wish, looked at their sideboard, and then were like, nah, I'm dead, and conceded. Now, Living Wish Bant, that's cool. Okie dokie. What happens in this matchup? Carpet of Flowers is a banger. Don't think I want Supreme Verdict. Endurance is good. We've seen Vendilion click out of them, and we've seen Uro. Endurance lines up well against both of those cards. Engineered Explosives for the Sylvan Library kind of stuff. I do like Veil of Summer. I like Veil better than Fluster. I believe that is true. Dress Down doesn't matter. They're not a Saga deck. I like Loam. I don't love Force of Negation. Or I can get thinner on Force of Negation and Force of Will. They might be a Loam deck. That is possible. Gonna give that some respect. I do like 4 Uros. I don't necessarily like 4 Swords to Plowshares. I have Prismatic Ending that can still exile things, and Uro to gain life. I have all these Planeswalkers that can bounce things. Yeah, I'm not really in love with Swords to Plowshares. Blast Zone actually seems reasonable. I'm not ready to cut the combo yet. The only reason I would cut it is due to time, and with 13 minutes on the clock, I'm not ready to throw in that towel yet. This is my plan. They are also an endurance deck, which makes committing to a Lion's Eye Diamond line pretty risky. That's probably a reason more so than the clock to be worried about that. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm on the draw with a cantrip and Life from the Loam. If I find the second land, then I'm good on lands, and the land count's my only grievance with this hand as it currently stands. We got pretty deep into their deck game 1 and didn't see a Wasteland. Let's just hope they don't have one now. Or that I draw a Basic Forest. Didn't draw Basic Forest. Time to get to work. Hoping for the best. Based on game 1, I don't think there's any universe that they're a back to basics deck. But they could have the Tactical Wasteland in there. They could also Living Wish for Wasteland if they need it. That's cool. How about let's just all stop talking about Wasteland. And my draw step plus cantrip didn't find a land, so we also need to just find land now. All right, deck. Land off the top. I'll even take the tap land. They brainstorm. There's still a chance. Okay, good. Got there easily. I'm going to put Unburial Rites and the backup Loam back into the deck. Fetch basic Island and cast Ponder here. It's like I was never worried about my land drops. I'll take another Abundant Growth and the Explosives here and then shuffle away the Unburial Rites. There's Sylvan Library. My nightmare. Oh, they do have Wasteland. Oh, glad they didn't use that last turn. Okay. I'm going to have to grind through Sylvan Library. Luckily, Life from the Loam is the type of card that can do that. Oh, Loam. Didn't have Force of Negation. That's nice. I'm going to have to discard 2 cards to hand size. Probably just going to be 2 of those same lands again. The Tropical Island and... yeah, it's just 2 of those lands. Put them back. Nice Loam. We're definitely behind here. We are up 2 minutes on the clock, though, so I am going to play out this game, no matter how steamrolly it gets. Our set. That's rough. That makes this Abundant Growth much worse in my hand. And the Jace. Force of Negation. Right, Vendilion Click has no respect for that one. If I dredge Loam, actually, yeah, if I dredge Loam, I can still draw a card with Abundant Growth. And fetch basic Plains. Did I mill it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Just missed it the first time through. Then Abundant Growth, my Plains. I can still draw a card this turn. Burrow, pretty cool. And then I have 7 cards in my hand, so I'm going to end up discarding most of these anyway. They also have Force Negation in hand, which they could just fire off on this Loam. It actually seems pretty reasonable. Okay, cool. Force pitching Uro. I wonder who that's actually good for. I am running out of land drops here, so that's bad. They paid the max, they're at 7. Narset gets to do more stuff, finds Force of Will. The land, can they come up with a win condition? Uro, yep, that's a win condition. Force of Will, that's actually kind of exciting. I can snap nothing. All right, yeah. I'm just gonna pass the turn, click them in their end step, or maybe I click myself looking for the land drop here. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click myself. I could also snap Ponder. Nope. Ponder is a sorcery. It's not a thing I can do. I think I'm going in with Click this turn because Click can check their hand and then also kill Narset and unlock my cantrips. They went to 5, took 1 extra card. We know at least one of them's Force of Will. They tapped out of white for this Uro. Right, I'm just going to let all this happen. See if they make any decisions. It's on information that they think they have, but they don't. I'm going to click myself. If Click even resolves, it will target me. And storming in response, okay. We know they're floating a Force of Will somewhere. So they can plow the Click, or they're just, wow, just double brainstorm in response to Click. That's weird. Are they that worried about this card? They would just tap out. I guess it does kill an Narset. If they force, I'm forcing back. Force pitching, Force of Negation. Force pitching Uro. Click resolved. I am going to target myself. I need the land drop or the answer to Uro. I'm going to get rid of Engineered Explosives. Ouch. Abundant Growth, not what I'm looking for here. Yes. Plow this. Get rid of Uro. Attack Narset. Suddenly we got a game. Thanks, Vendilion Click. Attack Narset. I'm going to Abundant Growth my basic island. I would rather have Abundant Growth on my forest, but I also want all my mana available. Land? Ooh, Life from Loam. That might be better than a land. Okay. We're back in this game, somehow. They have Living Wish. Alright, what is this completely unmolested Living Wish doing? It's getting Uro. Okay. restarting the Uro train. I'm at 6th. I'm not even bluffing anything. Like, we're in tap out haymaker magic mode, and I'm more worried about my clock than about any subtle value I could get off of bluffing something. Ooh. I can slam Jace. I can hold up gifts. I can loam. I'm slamming Jace. Jace? Brainstorm? Prismatic Ending, X2. I love it. And I'm going to pass. I'm not going to attack into an Endurance here. Not going to fall for that. And I guess I still lose Jace if they have Endurance plus a removal spell, which is pretty likely given how many cards they've drawn. Next turn, I can Ending Library, bounce Uro, cast Loam, pull back ahead on lands. Here comes Uro. Uro did make another land drop. I haven't seen a 4th color out of them for Red Blast or Ending on 4 to remove the Jace. That has not been part of this game yet. Another Living Wish. Okay. Vendilion Click. Alright, that can challenge my Jace. Vendilion Click's also really good against Life from the Loam. I'm going to Loam first. See how this goes. I know my top card is a land. I can Brainstorm into it if they fight over this Loam. They're going to like hardcast Force of Negation. Ooh, they have Mystic Sanctuary also. Clever. They could Mystic Sanctuary, put Force on top, click themselves into Force. That's fun. Okay, hardcast Force of Negation, fair enough. Brainstorm with Jace, now that I know they can't click me this turn. Put back. Sorry, gifts. Yeah, I actually just, unfortunately, think that the gifts plan with the Moto Clock is not on the table in this particular Bant mirror. White, green, back. Abzan mana, get rid of Uro. Attack my opponent's life points directly. And then F6 through another turn. Considering how many cards they've drawn and seen and played this game, I don't know. I feel like I should not be ahead. Like, this game is close, and I'm actually ahead on board, at least. They have more cards than me, but Jace represents a lot of action. Wow, just passing the turn. Like that. And Burial Rites is here. I'm going to Brainstorm. Just keep that happening. Right, sorry on Burial Rites. Ooh, gifts. Is it time to gifts? Okay, gifts is in my hand. Or it's on top of the deck. It can be in my hand if I need it to be. No attacks. I'm holding up Coatl and Endurance. I just want to make sure I don't lose Jace to this Vendilion Click. Vendilion Click, who are you targeting? They're targeting themselves. Okay. And they tucked the backup Sylvan Library. You don't need 2 of those usually. Endurance has resolved. I can Snapcaster. I can Snap Plow here. Yeah, I think I like that better than Endurance. So, Snapcaster towards the Plowshares. Get this value while it's still present. Plow the Endurance. I shouldn't have let them untap. I knew they were floating a Force of Will, and I just let them untap into Hardcast Force. So if they have removal spell, then I lose my Jace. Yeah, that was bad. Yep. Prismatic Ending, Exiles Click. And they're holding up Hardcast Force for Coatl. Still gonna make them do it. If they spend the Force here, I can slam Narset plus Endurance next turn, or removal plus... Yeah, I got options, is what I'm saying. Alright, I'm losing Jace. Narset lines up poorly against this click. A Caracas would be nice, or just a land. I guess I knew that was on top, though. I think I want to Prismatic Ending and Endurance. Endurance. I am going to endure myself. Just reload my deck full of 1 cards. I don't think that's actually necessary, or probably not even good, but it's been done. My opponent's at actual 5. Like, I have a lethal attack next turn. They do have 5 cards in hand. 2.5 minutes on their clock, though. I don't believe I can lose this match. Even if they do rally this game, like, I don't think they can win this game in 2 minutes, much less a third game. Ending both my creatures. This would be the perfect situation to cast gifts if I had more than 6 minutes on my clock. So this could be a good Savine's Reclamation gifts. Okay, here's Narset. They had Force. All right, fair enough. Force pitching Ponder. One card left over there. I can Gifts for Savine's Wreck. Or I could just put Yorion in hand. Drawing Caracas would be insane. If I can draw Caracas to control the click. Oh, that's probably way better. Holy shit, this is so much mana. I'm just going to cast Yorion this turn. And maybe the rest of my hand also. Yes, make blue. 7 blue. Yorion's in my hand. Cast Yorion. And even if they counter Yorion, I can Unburial Rights it next turn. Flicker the Abundant Growths. Carpet of Flowers when your opponent has 7 islands in play. Not bad. And drew Walking Ballista. That's actually just lethal. With the Carpet's help. Yeah, it's not even going to come down to the clock. We're just winning this game. Fuck yeah, Bant Mirror. I've said it a couple times, though. It is super awkward that the Moto clock is cutting off this angle of the deck. Because normally, like I said, being able to like scrap back and forth until we're in a board state like this, where like the opponent has 1 card in hand and like not really pressuring damage. This is exactly the situation where you would want to slam gifts and combo out. But you can't click through this in 5 minutes. Or maybe you can, but it's really close. And if you commit to your combo and then they just like wait a while and then like, because on Magic Online, they can also make you click through like just short of lethal damage and then Force of Negation your Lion's Eye Diamond and just eat up your clock when you actually can't win. Like there's just a lot of weird angles to be shot on Magic Online with a Bomber combo. But this is the type of matchup. In real life, I probably would have been working towards Gifts instead of working towards Yorion in this game. On to the next one. I'm on the play with a banger, keeping this Life from the Loam, hook it to my veins. I am going to Ponder off my Tundra turn 1. Like, I have some choices of fetch Basic Island, like Basic Island Ponder. Welcome to BoshNRoll stream. Words to live by, Basic Island Ponder. Or I could fetch off of the Tundra and save the green source, and I am going to save the green source. Okay, backup green source is nice. I already have a Brainstorm. Can you have too many Brainstorms? Like, I'm fetching away one of these things. An Ending is one of the cards that's either the best card or the worst card, depending on the matchup. All right, I'm going to bet on Brainstorm. I could also just not fetch if I end up wanting Prismatic Ending. Preordain, top-bottomed. Island Preordain. I don't think a deck that plays Island Preordain is a deck that I'm going to want to cast Prismatic Ending against. I'm just going to get my Loam active here. Okay, Endurance is ready. Brainstorm's ready. Gifts Ungiven is... The clock is ticking on that one. It's close. Opponent Brainstorm had the fetch land. Are we mono blue something or other? I'm going for a Brainstorm. I'm not going to Dredge Loam on any of these Brainstorm cards. All right, put back 2. Mono blue, land, Preordain. This could be a show and tell deck. I'm going to keep the Caracas in my hand. I'm going to get rid of one of the Prismatic Vistas. I have Loam if I need more of that. And I guess Tropical Island also is unnecessary at this point. It's going to play Vista and pass. I can cast Coatl this turn. Have Caracas as a land drop if necessary. Oh, High Tide, that's what we're doing. Okay. It's time to cast Brainstorm, I guess. No, I'm going to let High Tide resolve, and then I can cast 2 Brainstorms. Or Brainstorm and Coatl. Turnabout. All right, make my 2 mana, cast Brainstorm. Don't Dredge Loam, wise guy. Okay, Swords to Plowshares and Prismatic Ending, worst cards imaginable. I'm going to force pitching Coatl. Yeah, I actually want the gifts. If this is a combo mirror, gifts is important to me. All right, other Brainstorm, let's go. Only seeing 1 fresh card here, unfortunately. Oh, that's not true. I can Dredge Loam off the first one, clear those shitty cards, and then see 2 fresh ones. Hey! Got paid. Right, I don't actually want Caracas in this matchup, it turns out. Force pitching Turnabout, or Force on Turnabout pitching Gifts. That Loam was tight. Wow. Glad I figured that one out. Almost gave it away. I'm going to cast Endurance this turn. Ponder. Some versions of High Tide have Snapcaster Mage in them, and some don't. So Endurancing them is probably worth doing. Oh, they're making moves. Ponder did not shuffle. Brainstorm, okay, fine. Maybe I should have loamed that turn, because I know I'm drawing Caracas this turn, which I don't actually want, and loam could have cleared it. Right, let's cast Endurance, get a clock going here. Splat their graveyard. And loam, pick up Prismatic Vista. Then I'm actually going to play Caracas, because I want that in play if I get to Yorion next turn. But that does give them perfect information. Shields are down. They know my whole hand. Just gotta hope they can't combo right now. And if they do combo right now, I hope that Time Spiral is involved, so I get a new hand. Right, 5 islands in play passing the turn. That's what I want to see. Not dredging loam. I'm looking for spells. Back for 3. I'm gonna cast Yorion. They're holding up Hardcast Force, and the fact that they didn't do anything last turn tells me that they probably actually do have it. But I still have to develop my board in the way that I'm able to. I can... Wow, they don't have it. Flickering Endurance. Give it Vigilance. Put this Prismatic Vista back in their deck. This cuts a turn off the clock. Preordain. If they do end up Time Spiraling, and I find Force but not blue card, Caracas can pick up Yorion to be a blue card. Preordain, top-bottomed, Brainstorm. That's the card they topped, because they would have Brainstormed last turn if they had one. So they drew Preordain for a turn. Preordain found Brainstorm. Now they have 3 new cards. Scroll, so they can scroll for High Tide and get ready to go off next turn. It's time to draw Force of Will. Come on, deck. Let's go. Ah! Had it. Always had it. Attack for 7. I am going to play my land because it's an island. And if they do win a fight over this High Tide and then Time Spiral, I just want a bunch of islands in play. And I am going to fight over the High Tide. Any mana they spend before the tide resolves is mana they don't have after tide resolves. So this is the point I'm going to choose to fight. Right, Force, pitching, Force. All right, 2 cards left in their hand. Looks like we're going for a spin. Yep, it's Time Spiral time. Okay, all right, this is great. I have Force of Negation. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Blue, 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 white. That's enough to Force of Negation and then snap Force of Negation. Wait, is that even true? 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm 1 short. I don't know why I thought I had it. I clearly don't have it. Okay, now I have it. Just gotta wait for that High Tide. They got 5 cards in their hand. They need 2 protection spells or a win condition. I'm not going to fight over mana at this point because they have so much of it that that's not the choke point. Like, I need payoffs. Not fighting over Predict either. Though they do know their top card because of Brainstorm. All right, the 3rd High Tide. I very easily can Force a Negation and Snap Force. Turnabout, that's not the fight. Oh shit, they could target me. They could target me. Did I just fuck up? I didn't even look at who they were targeting. Oh my god. I almost threw that one away. If they targeted me with that and tapped me out and then just went off, I would feel very stupid. Merchant Scroll. I'm not fighting over that either. Let's see if this is getting Cunning Wish or Force of Will. Do they already have the spin or are they fighting over the spin? A Cunning Wish for Blue Sun Zenith. I'm a fucking Yorion deck. That's so funny. Gotta work extra hard on Blue Sun Zenith. Intuitioning. I am so relieved that Turnabout wasn't targeting me. Oh, that would have been bad. You can have Time Spiral. How about that? Okay, they gotta protect it twice. They have 4 cards in their hand. One is the Spiral. Okay. Blue, blue, blue. Force of Negation. They can't pitch Force of Will, but they have 29 mana in the pool. Oh wow, that just resolved. I did not think that would happen. Cunning Wish. Not going to fight over that. All right, now they just get Brain Freeze. Nope, Zenith. They're going to Zenith themselves first and try to reload and then Zenith me. They don't have enough to kill me. I have 63 cards in my deck. Snapcaster Mage. They left 6 mana in the pool. They're trying to draw their last time spiral in the deck. Snapcaster resolved. And they've seen enough. Just playing defense off their own high tides. That was awesome. And that turn where, rather than brainstorm in response to high tide, I let high tide resolve so I could brainstorm twice and then loam to clear the bad cards in between the 2 brainstorms. That turn was really exciting. I'm glad that one's on camera. Okay, this matchup gets a lot better after sideboard. Luster Storm, Meddling Mage. I actually do like Surgical Extraction because they're an Intuition deck. Surgical's really good against Intuition. If I counter a high tide at any point and extract them, then they can't win anymore. Like there's a lot to like about Surgical Extraction in this matchup. Veil of Summer counters both Brain Freeze and Blue Sun Zenith, and their deck is mono blue. Like this card is very good. Cards that are bad include Swords to Plowshares. Prismatic Ending has text because of their hate cards, like Defense Grid and Teferi's Realm and whatever. Like Prismatic Ending I'm not going to take out, at least not in large numbers. I do still like having my own combo. I like having the Flash Threat of Endurance. They're not a build that can go off at instant speed, so I'm not worried about that. Trying to combo off isn't really my goal, but Gifts is fun. I'm going to shave an Uro. That's not really the plan here. Narset crushes them. Quaddle is a flash threat. I actually think the Salvagers combo just has to come out here. Sorry, Salvagers. I still like Gifts, like value Gifts. Getting Savine's Wreck and Teferi Narset is really good. Oh, I am going to stick with that at least. And Gifts is a blue card for my 6 forces that I'm going to have multiple looks at if they're doing what they want to do. Oh, Carpet of Flowers should have come in too. They only play islands. I already clicked submit. It's too late. All right, this hand is solid. I'm in. Brainstorm to start off. Wow, turn 1 Brainstorm. I would have waited on that for sure. Their deck can't go off on turn 2, so it doesn't follow the normal pattern of combo decks. Can be a little more aggressive with Brainstorm, at least not on turn 1. Tropical Island. All right. I do want more islands in play than normal. Like I could fetch basic forest right now and get my 5-color land set up, but it wouldn't be an island. I can Tropical Island and make an island a 5-color land next turn, which helps punch through on the high tide turn. I'm just gonna go for the 5-color forest right now, though. Like, let's spend the mana we have. With Light from the Loam, I'll end up with plenty of islands in play anyway. Okay, they do have a fetch land, so they only had to redraw one of the 2 cards off that Brainstorm. Preordain. Preordain bottomed. Right, found another force. That's great. I'm gonna Coatl this turn. I think Coatling's better than Loaming. Next turn I can Loam 2 lands back up, if I even care about that. But Coatl gives me a redraw, try to find that Teferi, find that Narset. Like, my Planeswalkers are the best cards in this matchup. They hit their 3rd land. That means they are at critical mass that they could theoretically go off from here. 3 mana is the smallest number of forests that they can go off with. They have to go high tide, turnabout, then tap all 3 for 6. Ooh. It's countering my little snake draw. Sure. I could pedal to the metal here, just pitch cast Endurance. It would stay in play because it has no abilities and just start crunching for 4. Do I think Loam's important to this matchup? No, I don't. I'm actually doing that. Let's go. Let's get rowdy. Race is on. And attack for 4. Suddenly a Delver deck. I have the choice to leave up Hardcast Force of Negation, or I can put Yorion in hand and have an extra blue card to pitch. I'm gonna pass here. I'm leaving up the Force of Negation, because that lets me let a high tide resolve, and then I can do the mana tricks. Merchant Scroll, okay. Maybe I'm supposed to Force of Negation that right now while I have mana available. And they can't go off from this position. Wow, what's going on here? Am I wrong about what it takes to go off? Go ahead, high tide resolves. What's going on? A high tide just resolved and they passed the turn. Okay. Deal. Oh, they misclicked. That sucks. All right, I'm gonna get my Zagoth Triumph into play. All right, now I have Flusterstorm backing up the forces. I don't, and they just like randomly discarded their high tide to a misclick. I don't think I can lose this game now. Unfortunate that a misclick is gonna play into it so much, but I don't think I was gonna lose this game anyway. That gas pedal endurance was fun. You don't get to do that very often. Normally endurance matters more than its body. Okay, so flustering high tide means that some of their lands are tapped before the high tide resolves. And it's fun that I get to tap a non-island to do this. So even if they pay for high tide here, it costs them 4 mana, not 2. They're turning themselves, or who are they turning about? Let me check the chat log this time, make sure I know who this is actually targeting. All right, they are targeting themselves. All right, turnabout resolves. That's not my fight. They have 3 cards left in their hand. Ooh, that's awkward. They just floated 3 off their islands when they only need 2. And that's actually going to be a mana they don't have. Like, they probably looked at the storm count 3 off of turnabout, but storm is counted when you cast the spell and trigger storm, not when the storm trigger resolves. So that's 1 mana they're not going to have in their pool, and that 1 mana could have been the 1 mana that casts Time Spiral here. Awkward. Now they have 5 instead of 6. I hope that doesn't matter for their sake. 2 cards left in their hand. If it's Time Spiral and Force of Will, they actually got through here. All right, 1 card left in their hand, and they have 5 mana floating. I'm going to fetch an island. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Force of Negation. Is your last card Force of Will? It is not. Okay, all right. Well, we survived that. They only have 1 card in hand. It takes multiple cards to go off with. I'm going to put Yorion in my hand. There is another island in the deck. The Yorion is a blue card for Force. I could have left up Hardcast Force, but if they start high-tiding, I might be able to Hardcast Force anyway. Just Time Spiraling from nothing. Yeah, I'm going to force that. Yorion is the blue card. GG's. Sorry about the misclick. I'm not sure if having more mana would have gotten them through that turn, though I guess it depends. If their last card in hand after I Force of Negation was the second Time Spiral, which they did have this turn, and they've drawn 1 card in between. So they either had Island in hand and top deck Time Spiral, or they had second Time Spiral and top deck Island. If they had the second Time Spiral in hand, having 2 high tides on that combo turn would have mattered. They would have gotten at least 1 Time Spiral through. So yeah, tough misclick. On to the next round. On the play for the final round. We're fighting for that positive record, 2-2 right now. This hand's kind of a clonker, but I don't think I'm going to mulligan it. I'm going to make land drops at least. That's step 1 to success. Here's this Rimewood Falls again. Luckily, this is a perfect Rimewood Falls hand because I have nothing to spend mana on anyway. Unless they lead on like Goblin Guide, in which case I would have liked to have Swords of Plowshares up, but that doesn't seem to be what's happening off of this Flooded Strand. Tropical Island Ponder. All right. Are we going to put another Bant Mirror in my veins? Oh, there's LED. Well, it might matter someday. I'm not going to put Walking Ballista into play. That just seems like a mistake. I guess I don't have to worry about Swords of Plowshares because I can just ping in response if they target it with anything. No, maybe I should have ballisted on 1. I'm a little disappointed that the one-time gifts would have been great. The Moto interface made it so it was not an option. Like that's not a feel good for the league. Hopefully we get to gifts here in this game. Or at least like draw salvagers and win. Like we literally just have LED Ballista. If we draw salvagers, we could just natty it. Opponent has a land, post Brainstorm. I was about to say I would love to find a card I can cast here, and I did. And a pretty good one too. I'm gonna get the plains because I don't have white set up. Uro, let's go. Yeah, Lionside Diamond can actually just cast Uro sometimes. That's pretty funny. All right, looks like Uro's getting plowed on the front half. That's fine. We can settle into that game. That's one less plow for the Auriok Salvagers. I would like to find a land here, though. Yeah, always had it. Okie dokie. Jace is prepared to show up next turn. I'm a Salvagers away from just going off. Kind of wish Ballista was in play, but that ship has sailed. Ooh, they're a black Bant, dark Bant. Baleful Strix, that's cheating. Okay, Baleful Strix resolves. Oh, I can play Ballista, ping this Strix, and not worry about that anymore. I could shove Jace. I actually think Ballista's great here. There's not many ways to avoid getting 2 for 1 to buy a Baleful Strix, and Ballista for 2 is actually one of them. And if they want to Force of Will as Ballista, give me a 2 for 1 on this thing, that's a deal. It's going to kill Strix now. It's happening either way. Just make sure it's not in play. My opponent should be concerned right now. They see Bant mana and Uro and then suddenly Walking Ballista. What's going on over there? Wasteland, that sucks. Uro also sucks. I have the plow for it. I'm ready. Misty Rainforest, being correct. Prismatic Ending. Alright, I'll ping them in response. I don't want that exiled. I'm going to need it eventually. I do need to worry about Endurance out of this deck. This Wasteland is brutal. If I draw a blue source, I'm slamming Jace. If I don't, I'm probably casting Savine's Wreck. I could Savine's Wreck my way back into a land. I could Coatl, try to draw the land. I'm gonna Coatl. Swinging for the fences here. Savine's Wreck is a safer way to guarantee a land drop. Ah, never didn't have it. I'm glad I didn't draw that per turn, actually, because I would have been disappointed. The classic BoshNRoll should have been more specific. Like, come on blue source, and I draw Mystic Sanctuary. Happens every time. Okay, here comes Uro. I can't interact with the front half, or with it on the stack. I'm going to plow it with its trigger on the stack, though. My Coatl does have Death Touch. Like, if they force this plow, they get another trigger out of it, but I don't know. I don't have black mana, or I don't need black mana for the back end of Unburial Rites. That's right. That's right, LO. Damn. Okay. Kind of disappointed I just drew Loam, because I was looking forward to slamming Gifts, but I think casting Loam is right. And then Vista, fetch for a blue source, then Savine's Wreck targeting Vista. I'll give me another land. For next turn, maybe I'm supposed to just slam Jace here. But I have Coatl. It's in front of the Uro right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus the LED. They somehow have nothing. Like, no endurance, no force, no plow. I can win. Feel like that's not a safe bet, though. No land came into play off that Uro. They're sitting on 4 spells over there. Oh, just heads up endurance. They don't even know. They don't even know. Okay, cool. I'm going to fetch for the last basic land. I think it's time to go for it. This is as good as it gets, right? They're not going to see the Lion's Eye Diamond in the gifts pile. Oh, Swords to Plowshares. Do I need this white source? So let's see if gifts resolves, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with that Swords to Plowshares. This is it. This is the moment. This is what we came here for. Okay. Salvagers. Ballista. Unburial Rites. And I guess it's Savine's Wreck. Yeah, I don't need Loam at this point. I'll just put Savine's in here. Yeah, that looks right to me. Surprise, I'm a Salvagers deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually a mana short to combo this turn. So this is an investment in next turn. They put Salvagers and Wreck in the graveyard. Play my Rimewood Falls. Plow Uro. Okay, at least that's answered. Yeah, because it takes 6 mana, the Unburial Rites, plus the 2 to rebuy LED to actually go off. And I only had 5 there, so that was a investment in the future turn. And they gave me Rites in my hand, which is pretty exciting. They probably gave it to me because I don't have black mana, which is smart. If I draw a fetch land, I can cast the front half of Rites. Just get to work. They're a 5-color build. I'm so excited. Expressive Iteration. Is this my deck? Or is this Honorog's deck? This is probably Anzi pile. My version had Yorion. They exiled Misty Rainforest, hit their land drop off of that. Getting Endurance again here would be unfortunate. Alright, that mana doesn't cast Endurance. Does cast Ponder. A land off the top also makes a 4/4 Walking Ballista, which blanks this Endurance. They go to 18 from this attack. They did not shuffle their Ponder. Disappointing. Life from the Loam. That actually is terrible here. I'm out of basic lands. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to go Jace here. Just softening up their Force of Wills. Alright, Force of Negation, pitching Snapcaster. You got it. Walking Ballista for X equals 1. Softening up that hand. Ooh. Ping them. Glad I didn't click through that. That would have been really bad. 1 card left over there. Black Source off the top is my favorite draw for me. They're cantripping so much. Stop. Just be out of gas, please. That's all I need. 1 card left. Land for turn. And they're fetching. Look at this mana base. It's a thing of beauty. Baleful Strix. The redraw. They have 1 random card in their hand. It's combo time. Oh, I even drew the Black Source. Underground Sea. Almost cast Life from Loam. That's not what I want to do. Burial Rites targeting Salvagers. 1, 2, 4, 5. They have to counter this twice, or Force of Negation at once. I have the 6 mana to Flashback Rites. B-Storm. They can still Endurance. They can't Force of Negation or Force of Will anymore. Please don't have Endurance. We're in there. Like swimwear, kids. There's the LED. Let's see if we get a concession or if I'm going to have to click through this. They can't actually break this up with Endurance. Well, they can break up my win this turn, but they can't break up the Lion's Eye Diamond, the infinite mana, because I have another white. They generously conceded. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think we were winning that game without gifts. That was a great time to have the combo. Okay, we got a 5-color Bant mirror. I want carpets. I want endurance. I want veils. Fluster, probably not. Hydroblast, definitely. They're going to have Rebs. We saw Expressive Iteration. I don't think I want Dress Down, though. Dress Down stops endurance from breaking up my combo, but it also takes my Salvager's ability to combo away. So yeah, that's a no. That's out. I think Swords of Plowshares is not really necessary in these high numbers. I still like Prismatic Ending. Burrow's the only thing you'd really hit with a plow. I do like Veil quite a bit here. I think now that they've seen the combo, I want to get off it. Though, they showed they're willing to concede to it, which means that I don't have to think about the time. Yeah, having this little package that just busts open the Bant mirror is actually really nice. I'm going to cut a Force of Negation. That's generally not something I love to have in these mirrors. And Uro's pretty important. I like Click. I'm going to make room for one more thing. I like the 1 Swords to Plowshares just as something to dig for. Are any of the lands cuttable? Probably not. Land drops are all that matter. I can count one of the Loams, I think. Like, they're not going to beat up on my mana. Yeah, 1 Loam's fine. I'm going to do it this way. Because I can gifts for the Loam if I need it. We did it, Samuel. We comboed off. At least once in the league. Now let's actually lock that positive record up. I like this hand. It's fine. It's a Bant mirror. Nobody's going to be coming out guns blazing or anything. I can play Sanctuary tapped, or like I have turn 3 Uro at the ready, which is really all I want in a Bant mirror. Ooh, that's even better. I'm going to fetch the basic forest that I was going to get with this anyway. I can play Mystic Sanctuary next turn, and that still curves into Uro the same way. You don't have to lead on your tap land necessarily. Oh, speaking of tap lands. All right, well, Mystic Sanctuary just actually became a good card because the Rimewood Falls is going to be my land next turn. And then I'll Uro on the following turn. And I'm only 1 island away from actually triggering Sanctuary. Land to go from the opponent again. Brainstorm. Always happy to see that card. This could be a situation where I want to brainstorm in the end step, because I would rather not develop my Mystic Sanctuary as my Uro land. But I probably just want brainstorm to be a good card more than I want that to happen. I could also spend a turn clicking them, but I think just slamming Uro is fine. Let's do that. Come on, different land. Yeah. Always had it. Okay, Mystic Sanctuary is actually on now if I have a spell to put in my graveyard. So brainstorming it back into the deck to fetch for it at a relevant point of the game is probably the line here. Opponent with the land go. Got a little pause in my upkeep here. All right, JK. No pause in my upkeep. I'm gonna brainstorm. I'm glad they didn't surgical because I was actually pretty exposed to it. I'm gonna put back... Gifts is actually really good here. I'm gonna put back Endurance and Mystic Sanctuary. And then I'll play Tundra, evoke the second Uro, which puts Mystic Sanctuary into play, which gets my Brainstorm back on top. Never disappointed with a Brainstorm. Okay, Brainstorm's back on top of my deck. This is a pretty tasty Endurance. 2 Uros in the graveyard. So they could have responded to Sanctuary to get rid of my Brainstorm also, and they didn't do that. Yeah, this is not Endurance mana. That's a red source. I also want to tease the graveyard, like get that big enough that Uro becomes a threat before I slam the Gifts into play, or onto the stack. They're fetching the 5th different land. Gotta assume this is a Field of the Dead deck. This is horrible. This is Jace with Pyroblast backup. I'm gonna brainstorm, see if I can bait the Pyroblast. Alright, couldn't trick them. I put back... I think I want the Endurances, because Endurance can pressure Jace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can click plus Endurance. So I don't get to keep all these cards. Can put back... I could also just not fight over Jace, not expose myself to Red Blast. I could put this Force of Will right in the deck and say, go ahead, have Jace. Good luck. I'm going to cast a blue spell eventually. I'm going to put Coatl and Endurance on top of the deck in that order, and then pitch Gifts to Force of Will here. This is like the world's most obvious Red Blast, but not much I can do about it. Make sure I have enough mana of every color. Green, green, colorless, blue, blue. Yeah, this doesn't matter, so I will get... Do I just get the Underground Sea? No, I have Abundant Growth. I don't want Sea at all. Get Island. I'm not worried about back to basics out of this deck. Right, I'm going to get Trop. I have one more chance here to spin into Force of Will. And then I still have my double creatures to pressure Jace if it doesn't work. Alright, no love there. That's fine. And by fine, I mean terrible. But Jace resolves. Prismatic Ending can remove Jace, but that's not something I currently have access to. Surgicaling my Uro, that's harsh. It does shuffle away those cards I didn't want. I'll take that. They see my plan of just overloading them with creatures at this point, which makes that plan worse, unless they boarded out most of their removal. Which could have happened. I don't know. Oh, baby. Put me in the Carpet. Okay, second main. Carpet is going to make 4 mana. It's all going to be blue. 4 blue mana. I'm going to Ponder first. Oh, Veil of Summer? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do not shuffle this library. Don't you dare. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm one short of Yorion, so I'm going to click them with this floating mana. Target you with click. What do you got over there? Uro, Ending, Ponder. Endurance checks the Uro. I don't really want them to Ending me. 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just going to take the Ending, because this Carpet is suddenly how I'm winning this game. Taking Ponder doesn't make a lot of sense because like the Jace is already so much card selection. That's not an angle I can control. And I'm going to Endurance next turn. Let me get this Yorion in my hand now. Yeah, I can't Endurance with Veil backup this turn, so I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to try to go for a big Yorion with Veil protection next turn. Jace, snap Brainstormed. Just no consideration of removing the Vendilion Click or plussing to get out of click range or anything of the sort. Just digging for an answer. Fetched another island. Ponder. They do get to see a lot of cards. We know they have Plow. We know they have Ending. They probably have Caracas. We know they have Red Blast. There's a lot of answers to click in this deck. I have no doubt. Leovold. That one's a fucker. I can fail in response. That's just not even good. That's really bad. Just all of that sucked so hard. Oh god, and they get to draw cards off Carpet because Leovold targets. Jesus, that was a good card to find. Yep. And I have to use the Carpet now to make sure it doesn't trigger again in the second main. Let's just make blue and cast Yorion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Yorion. Not going to blink anything because of stupid asshole Leovold. I can Endurance now, and I can Veil, and I get to draw one card because it's their turn now. Jace just brainstorming again. They are at the point where if their hand has one more land in it, they can Uro and re-Uro without passing priority. Oh, is this a prismatic ending for 5? That's so sexy. Don't tell my opponent I said that, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's counter that. They forced. I veiled. I even get to draw a card. Did we do it? Did we stabilize this bullshit Leovold board? Or do they have another Plow in their hand? 2 cards left in their hand. One of them's Uro. Looks like I'm going to get to attack Jace this turn. Or this game. This turn? Well, fucking Carpet's going to keep feeding the Leovold. Okay. Yes. Make green, because I have to. Making white is not good right now. I'm going to Endurance right now. Ugh. God, that sucks so hard. I get to draw another card. Leovold's broken. I can bet on fighting Uro. Like, do I think Uro or Jace is a bigger problem right now? They're both problems. Whatever. Draw a card. I hate this. I hate it. I am not going to Savine's Wreck right now. Just don't think that's important. Hope they didn't draw the Swords to Plowshares. Brainstorm, okay. Possible they don't have a fetchable white source even if they have the Brainstorm. I guess Savannah's a pretty reasonable inclusion in a deck like this. Okay, I can Ice Fang Coatl to draw a card on their turn. They can at least front half of their Uro. They have 3 cards in the graveyard currently. And this Leovold is rough. There's EI. Guess I should have Coattled in response to that. I do have a Hydroblast in my deck I could have drawn. All right, they do have a Savannah. Savannah confirmed. That's what they exiled with Expressive Iteration. They're saving their land drop. Still not ready to commit it. The Coatl doesn't have Death Touch, so it's not like I can ambush this Leovold. I guess I could Coatl into Coatl and maybe ambush the Leovold. But they have to remove Endurance before they do any of that. Removed Yorion instead. All right, green, blue. I'm going to Coatl in response, see if I can find something to protect Yorion with, because this flying creature does matter. All right. Yorion's gone. Wait, why does this have Death Touch? Oh, the Rime Wind Falls, finally paying off. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. All right, Rime Wind Falls finally delivered on its promises after all this time. The Uro means that they don't have to respect Endurance beatdowns. Like, I need to actually answer this Leovold, or I'm just SOL. All right, come on, deck. How about a good card? Something that answers Leovold. Ponder is not it. Have to make the mana with Carpet. Yes, make white, I guess. Do I even want a Savine's Wreck? Don't think so. Lands are not my problem right now. I'm going to cast Ponder. Okay. That's actually pretty decent. Do not shuffle my library. Keep that Narset right where she is. I'm going to attack with Endurance. Leave back the touch blocker. And I'm just going to F6 from here. I wish I had a back to basics in my deck. Look at my opponent's mana base right now. This is outrageous behavior. Aggressive Iteration. Getting a Plow. It's pretty good. All right, they went after Endurance. Coatl gets to continue riding. The Narset does kind of answer the Leovold. We'll see how that ends up shaking out. Here's Uro. They have so many cards. Wasteland. Does that matter? I don't think so. Oh, they can wasteland my Rhymewind Falls. Take me off Snow. But I have a fetch land, so that won't work. Chose to shuffle that final Ponder. I'm drawing Narset. They get to draw a card from Carpet here. I'm going to make a pile of blue mana with Carpet. I cast Narset. We're going to fight over that. I hope they don't have Force of Negation, because I'm good on Force of Will or Red Blast. Red Blast resolves. And slow roll on this Savine's Wreck the whole game. Gotta get Narset back. I could pitch cast Endurance here, which I'd be really disappointed about. Okay, that didn't happen. You're saying there's a chance. A Force of Will is not exactly a good card. I don't have the Bomber, and I'll take a Force, sure. Savine's Wreck doesn't have targets currently. Well, I could get 2 lands back, but that's not what this game's about right now. Narset has a little bit to say about Leovold. Here's my Force of Will. I'm empty. The Narset also, yeah, checks the Sylvan Library temporarily. But it looks like she is not long for this world. Okay, they had a Force. For my Force, they can kill Narset, which lets Library and Uro both draw a bunch of cards. But I have Savine's Wreck that can recur Narset next turn. And they have to clear Coatl before they can attack, unless they're willing to just suicide for a card draw, which, I don't know, I probably would be. There's a lot of cards in that graveyard. Bummer. Prismatic Ending. Now I take 9. And I need an answer to their answer. Oh god, if they just have Endurance. Okay. Well, there goes Savine's Wreck. Time to draw gifts. Funny growth. That's not it. Yes, make a color just because I have to. This game is pretty far gone. Leovold soloed this game. Like, Leovold did so much here. It's drawing a million extra cards because of my Carpet. It made me play awkwardly. Just cantrips are bad. Uro's bad. Everything's bad. I think this Leovold's drawn like 6 or 7 cards by now. I'm going to take one more draw step and then see what we got. Okay. That is a land I'm going to concede. They gave me the courtesy of conceding when they were dead game 1. I'm going to do the same now. I could get like a few more seconds out of them, but I'm not going to do that. Okay. Swords to Plowshares is coming back in now that I know Leovold is involved. Jeez. Now we're at that tricky playing chicken part of the Moto League, where if my opponent, who conceded to the combo in game 1, gives me the same courtesy in game 3, it's actually one of the best things I could do. Like, in real life, I would be so happy that I have a combo in my deck as like the round goes under 10 minutes. That's actually what I'd be plan A playing towards. But I don't know that I'm going to get that courtesy in game 3. I am actually just going to cut that combo. I'm going to bring in Surgical for their Uro, Swords to Plowshares for their Leovold. Loam's fine. I don't want Fluster. I don't think I want Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I'm just going to play a Bant deck. I still have the gifts. I can still do Savine's Wreck stuff. I still get the Loam package. Like, all that's still there. Probably should have gone down 1 gifts, up the 4th Plow, because they're a Red Blast deck. Snap keeping this this Uro hand with Loam. Island Ponder keep. That's what we do. Okay, found the 3rd land for Uro, found some other stuff that's interactive. Got the first Leovold under control, at least. I'm not gonna Loam here. Maybe I am. Yeah, Loam is actually good for 2 cards here. They have 6 cards. I'm on the play. Yeah, that's how that works. Yeah, and that gives me the land drop locked in for Uro. They didn't Force of Negation. Appreciate that. They're doing something for 2 mana. Could be Strix, could be Library. Yeah, Library is the scarier one. Prismatic Ending off the top. Nope. Okay, Uro. Let's go. Let's get that happening. Still not dredging Loam. Oh, there's Force of Will. Right on time. You asshole. They appear to be doing something with 3 mana. Leovold. Gonna fight over this. Pitching Snapcaster Mage. Okay. That's a relief. I did not expect that to resolve. I'm not going to dredge loam. Oh, maybe I should have. Fetch for basic forest. Fetch for tundra. Maybe I want tropical island here. Yeah, I actually do want tropical island. Because there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if I had dredged loam, I wouldn't have had to eat loam to Uro, so that was probably bad. If they have their own force, I can brainstorm to try to fight over this. Or I could just let that hit the bin. I'm gonna let it hit. Yeah, I should have dredged loam. I just didn't do a count soon enough. Now my loam's gone, which is one of the most potent weapons, especially with the wasteland in my deck against my opponent's greed pile. Slamming Jace. I have Force of Negation for that one. That resolved. What a relief. Surgicaling my Uro. Okay. I should have brainstormed in response, taken the free shuffle. That might have been loosey-goosey. They're at 6, though. And that Uro was not close to escaping. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Carpet, Ponder, Hydroblast. All right, I'm going to put the 2 lands back. Play Carpet. Second main. Yes, make blue. Ponder. Walking Ballista is not bad. You just make a 4/4 here, or a 2/2. Make a 4/4. Spend 4 mana is what I meant. Okay, so they're effectively at 4. They can't take any more cards with their library. Though maybe they'll miss that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know. They've played pretty well so far. I doubt they're going to miss that. Ballista's also a phenomenal mana sink for this Carpet. Please cast Expressive Iteration. Give me this Hydroblast. Let it ride. Ooh. All right, I'll put you to 4. They're at 4. Plow is neutralized. They're not going to EI now that they've made a land drop. That's not the play. Might have gotten excited about this Walking Ballista. I really don't want that fetch land on top of my deck. Whoops. Probably should have just shuffled that Ponder. Ugh. Naturally. Just the best card. Okay, I'm drawing Prismatic Vista. Yes. Make blue. Put Yorion in my hand with that 3 blue. Fetch my basic planes. Cast Yorion. Hope they red blast me. I'm not going to flicker Carpet. It would give me 4 more mana, but I have nothing to do with it, so I'm just going to be honest about that. They can take an extra card here. They have Uro in the graveyard that can recoup the life. They go to 3. Uro puts them back to 6. They're not dead to Yorion. Really wish this Yorion drew even 1 card. I think I'm winning this game on clock. And we're like not close to this game's natural conclusion either. But they are ahead. Come on, deck. Give me a good spell. Force of Will, not exactly what I'm looking for. I am going to attack them. I have to keep their life total at least a little bit managed. I'm really just an answer to Uro away from being ahead again. But every turn that doesn't happen is bad for me. All right, I'll take the 4 life, given the state of this game right now, rather than fight over that. Because I need to fight over Uro. They're at 4. Didn't put a land into play, so they have 5 spells. Not going to Force of Will, Baleful Strix. That's not the line. Come on, spell. All right. I'm not activating that yet. See what this Abundant Growth does. Come on, spell. Oh, that's a spell. Okay. Second main. Make blue off of this. Yes, make blue. Here's a white. Here's Teferi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can Force of Will back up, and I can Hydroblast a Red Blast. Very resolved. Let's get Uro out of here. That should end the game. At least on clock, if not on actual real life. I shouldn't have played that Vista. I'm out of fetchables. I should have left that in my hand for a Brainstorm. I was just playing fast. We get to clear Teferi here, but he did his job. Uro's back. They're going to escape Uro. We got 20 seconds to get through 2 turn cycles. There's stuff you can do here that I probably would do in a PTQ, if I'm being honest, which is like fetch on their main phase, because they can't F6, like they would have to do stuff. But I think their Sylvan library, 6, yeah, 7, 14. Yeah, this is actually 3 turn cycles. Yeah, they're not going to be able to win this game. Yes, make blue, green, coatl. Now I just have like a blocker in play. This is why I didn't concede. Like, I'm not just timing them out. Like, I'm actually still in this game. If I answer this Uro, we're reasonably stable. But yeah, they're out of time now. Woof. That was a slog. Okay, the big thing that I said multiple times throughout the league, but I'm going to reiterate here. Having a combo kill in your Bant control deck is huge. That is so good at breaking open these Bant control mirrors and beating the clock, even more importantly. On the channel before, I've played Bant Food Chain, Bant Aloran. I even played Bant World Gorger Dragon. Just really anything you can do, anything you can tuck into like the Swords to Plowshares, Cantrips, Planeswalkers, Endurance Shell, and speed up the clock, make the game end faster, is a good thing in paper Magic. On Magic Online, all of those things require many clicks and a lot of time, and the chess clock is your enemy, where the round clock is your friend. Like it's almost like you're playing a different game, which you kind of have to accept on certain areas that Magic Online and paper Magic are different games. And that's one of those spots. The Salvagers combo did come up once. It was very important in the game that it did come up in. The gifts put the whole combo together from nothing. I love that you have a gifts pile that just ends the game on its own. Like, it's a 4-card combo that doesn't care if it's in your hand or graveyard. Like, that's actually really insane. The Bant control angle of this deck, just grinding your opponent's resources down until the gifts can resolve and you win the game all at once. I love that. I love the Yorion. I actually think this deck is pretty reasonable. Is it better than Food Chain? I don't know. Is it better than Aloran? I don't know. Is it better than the 4-color Yorion Zenith Bant control deck that Zenith's for Primeval Titan in the end game, and that's how they turn the corner really quickly? I don't know. But this does check a lot of the boxes that I want, which is removal, selection, and a combo kill. This deck is surprisingly reasonable. If you want to play Gifts Ungiven and Legacy, I recommend that you start here. Some of the card choices, like, I don't know that we need the Dress Down. I don't know that you need 3 gifts. Maybe 2's enough, because, like, this is Legacy. You do need to be alive to that point, and Gifts is pretty bad at keeping you alive until you're ready to cast it. You could go down to 2 gifts. You don't necessarily need Dress Down in the main. Those could be just, like, 2 more things that advance the board state. Like, could be the 4th Coatl. Could be another Snapcaster, or you could take a page out of the Modern playbook, just play Spreading Seas. Like, that's good with Yorion, and it's kind of a wasteland. Like, it's not a wasteland in the sense of taking your opponent off turn for Jace, but it is a wasteland in the sense of taking a Merit Lage or a Dark Depths out of the equation. It outright kills Urza Saga. Like, there might be some value to that, combos with Yorion later. Or you could just load up on the Planeswalkers, the 3-mana Planeswalkers, Teferi and Narset, play a second click, just really lean into Savine's Reclamation as an engine. There's a couple different ways you could take this deck, but the core is very solid. I am happy with this league. I'm happy with how this went. Samuel, thank you for asking me to play this. It was fun taking it through the ringer. I hope my tuning is helpful in your future development of this deck. I'm sure I'll talk to you on Discord about it soon. If you watching want me to play your deck or help tune your pet guard to the Legacy or Modern metagames, this is clearly a thing I do. Check out the Patreon. That's where you do that. Check out the Discord community. Check out the merch. If you don't want to do any of that, at least like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching.